This video was produced by the official committee of unsecured creditors appointed in the bankruptcy case filed by the Archdiocese of St. Paul in Minneapolis. The committee is composed of 5 clergy abuse survivors, and their job is to represent the interest of all unsecured creditors in the Archdiocese bankruptcy case.
Hi, my name's Jim Keenan. I'll be 48 in June of this year, and currently I work as a psychologist here in the metropolitan area.
My name is Marie Melke. I am 30 years old, and I am a stay-at-home mom of 2 beautiful children.
Kurt, I'm 58. Spent 30 years in law enforcement as a police officer.
I grew up Catholic, and I am still practicing Catholicism today. Faith was really important in my family growing up. Not only were the traditions of the Catholic Church valued, but also a relationship with Jesus Christ was also really, really important.
It was a very important part of my childhood to be Catholic. All of our friends were Catholic, all of our acquaintances were Catholic, all of our social interactions basically were with people of the Church.
I'm grateful that I grew up Catholic. I believe that it brought a lot of good things to me as a child and now as an adult. The man who abused me was a dear friend of my family's. My parents knew him long before I came along, and he was invited into my parents' home, almost like a brother. I did not realize that I was being abused by him because I was very young. I was only 12 when it started, and I was very innocent.
Prior to disclosing my history of being abused by a priest, life was really up and down. My anger level would spike. My temper would be short. My frustration tolerance was non-existent. I would self-medicate through drinking alcohol to excess.
Well, then, over the course of the years that followed, I started feeling isolated, depressed, incredibly sad, lonely.
Basically, it's hard to describe. You know, you're like living in a nightmare. You think about it, and it would just anger you. But yet you had nobody you could turn to. Like I say, being in law enforcement for 30 years, the concern was always fit for duty, and that includes not only physically fit, but psychologically fit as well. The biggest fear about coming forward with this is being deemed unfit for duty. So as a result, you suffer in silence. You keep quiet about it, and you don't say anything, even though deep down it's gnawing at you, it's irritating you, and you can't really disclose why.
I felt like I was the only person in the world that had ever gone through what I had gone through, and I was so ashamed of it because I was certain that it was my fault. But as I have grown, I have realized that a child cannot be held responsible for the actions of an adult.
Even though you might try to mitigate it or explain it away that, well, it only happened once. Once is too many times. And in order for the Catholic Church to move on and to heal, that needs to be exposed. You might save somebody else from going through the same situation.
At one point I decided that part of being a therapist is helping and protecting and working through the difficult times, and if I couldn't do that myself, I certainly shouldn't be helping other people. So I came forward and I shared my truth so that I could be a strong survivor and help those that needed help.
I was only 19 when I first told someone that I had been abused, and it was really hard and really scary. But at the same time, it was such a relief to let someone else in, to ask them to help me carry this burden.
A lot of time had passed. I'm 58 now. I was 30 when I tried the first attempt to bring it forward. It wasn't easy. It was difficult to come forward with it, but it was freeing, if you can use that term, because it was out there now. but it wasn't out there in that it was going to be read in any of the newspapers. It wasn't on any television stories that, hey, this happened to me. It was more along the line of, here's another victim, another survivor.
There is a deadline for survivors to come forward. It's August 3rd, 2015. I know that probably seems really overwhelming to have to share something that you've been carrying around for so long. It takes courage to bring it forward, and now all of a sudden you have to do it on a deadline. That is a bit unfair, but it's the reality of this situation. It's a brave thing to do. It's a hard thing to do, but it is worth it. And there are people waiting to help you, to listen to you, and to believe you in complete confidence.
There's a history here that you might not know of that they do, and just getting that reassurance and hearing something of what's gone on and knowing that you're not alone out there, that there are a lot of us that went through this.
We need to create change. Coming forward, you get to be part of that process. We're trying to fix the church to make it better. We're trying to make it an environment that families know without any doubt that their children are safe. We're trying to create an environment where the wonderful priests who are out there doing great works are not tainted in reputation by a few who are not.
It's not an attack on a Catholic Church. It's helping the Catholic Church to improve and maybe for them to heal as well.
I used to be a victim, and now I am a survivor, and you can be one too. And I know it's scary, but you are not alone. There are people waiting to hear your story, to hear your truth, and to help you get your power back.
We have come forward, and many others have as well. And now we encourage and invite you to do the same. If you wish to timely file a claim in the Archdiocese bankruptcy case, you need to do so by August 3rd, 2015, to ensure that your rights are protected. This is your opportunity to come forward safely and confidentially.